Okay, I'm just going to do a quick update on where I am with the StuG 4. Sorry, hi, and John Moore here, and welcome to the channel. Doing an update on the StuG 4 is my first audio, so please excuse me. I'm not the very best at doing all these things. So I've started on the red-brown for the camouflage. The man is in place. I had to fit him in before I glue the two sides together, because as you saw on the pictures, if you looked at the pictures, that is, I had to kind of make a base for him to sit on and glue it to the underside of this, so that's why he's in place now. I have the shirts and plates all ready to go on. Painted them all up because I haven't decided which ones I'm going to leave off, which ones I'm going to damage or anything. So the easiest way to do it is just paint it all up and decide afterwards. I suppose most people do that anyway. The tracks, I have the tracks painted. Quite happy with them actually. Just need to be dry brushed in a kind of a silver thing just to get that metal look on them. What I used for those was I used a black undercoat, made down a watery, not too watery though, red ochre on that, brushed them over both sides, let that dry overnight, and then this morning then I gave them a light tapping, just sort of a tapping with the brush, sort of, you know, dab with the brush on the shag brown, and what it does, it gives the little lighter effects with the brown, and it's actually quite nice. I'd say it's a relative of the red ochre, because the colours are so similar, but it's just a little bit brighter, that shag brown, so it's quite nice, and they work. That's the main thing. It works with a bit of dust and the other washes and things. It turns out, and for me, it just works. A switcher would call it a happy little accident. Anyway, the figures. I kind of half explained without actually saying anything on how I did this guy. 0.5 drill bit up into the headphones, made a small hole, bit of copper wire, really thin copper wire now. Do you know if you get a bit of cable from a light or cooker, or not cooker, not they're heavy wires, but really light household items, the cable, the flex that they're made of, the inside copper wire is so thin, and it's actually, I mean, that's actually two of them, so you can see it's just twisted up. It's really fine, really delicate, so you got to be kind of careful with it. The kit supplied figure, happy enough with him. He's grand, couldn't be, you know. If I decide to do a diorama, I found these pieces. It's a BMW, the Tamiya BMW kit with the figures. I had them all painted up. I wasn't happy with the way they were painted. I had them in a diorama with the Tiger tank. It was one of the first ones I ever did. Wasn't happy with how the tank came out, wasn't happy with how the figures were painted, just generally not happy. That's how I ended up rusting over the Tiger tank and using it in the, as I call it, my first big one. So that's where the Tiger tank came from, and these chaps have been sitting on the shelf ever since. So I decided to clean them up with a bit of isopropyl alcohol. Cleaned off the that horrible paint, flesh paint that I had on them, and they've just got one coat of the new flesh paint. That's all that's been done to them, just cleaned off and just one coat of the flesh paint on them. Happy enough at the moment. They're getting there. If I decide to use them, then I'll change them around a bit. There's the MG42 for the StuG. Works out quite good. These are the three colours I use for the tricolor camouflage. I use Citadel paints because they're very good to hand paint with, and that's what I do. I hand paint. I don't have an airbrush. never used an airbrush, so therefore I don't know whether I'd like one or not. Excuse me. But I find that the hand painting works quite well, because once you've it weathered and washed and dust coated and everything else, I can't really see the difference in brush painting, as long as you don't put it on too thick, plaster it on like sort of like it. You mean like my 6-year-old daughter paints pictures with sort of 4 tubes of paint to make a face. But anyway, Castellarn green is the colour I use for the green. And finally, a Mornfang brown. Don't you love the names? Don't you love the names of the Citadel paints? They are purely just for the gamers anyway. Well, they're made for the gamers, and with all their orcs and goblins and things, so why not have weird names to go with your paints for that? Another thing which I have used in the past is I've used this stuff, foam board. One or two people ask me, what actually is it? There's a good view of it. It's 5mm thick. It comes in a variety of sizes. The size I buy is the A3 size, which is grand. It's coated in a kind of hard, semi-hard cardboard, which can be peeled off quite easy. See? And you're left then with that. That's the stuff then that you can emboss, shall we say. Here's that little tool I made that time for the cobblestones. And if you look, just stick. And because the foam kind of breaks up different each time, no two imprints are the same. So I don't have to go, say, get a different size one or a different shape one. See, that works perfect. What I do then with that is I get plaster, all-purpose filler. And what it is it's a ready mix filler. There it is. I buy it in the cheap local shop and add loads of water to it and make it into a gooey paste rather than what it's supposed to be, is in a kind of a thick filler. By adding loads of water, you can actually end up then painting it on. And by painting it on, what it does is it soaks into the foam, stiffens it a bit, but it also gives a good key then for painting, which I've never really painted straight over, I must admit. But I'd say it is, I have done it in a test piece, but not on anything that I've actually used. This stuff is actually quite handy. It's a plastic primer, clear plastic primer, which is very good, especially if you want to kind of keep the colours that you already have in places, but still need to prime it, so you can kind of prime over it and you still have your original colours in place. If you're using pebbles and things and you say that's a lovely shade or lovely, it might only be that size, but when you look at it, wow, that could be really big. You know what I mean. You find bits and pieces around, the brain starts working, you say, what can I use this for? What can I use that for? And I'm all about that. I'm all about utilising every little bit that I can possibly get and use. This is a little sifter now I used for sifting the dust. What it is actually is you put your tea leaves into it, close it up, and there you go, you've got your tea bag. Old-fashioned thing, but it's a really nice fine sieve, and it works perfect, and I get my really fine sand, really fine dirt through it as well. And I use all the bits of it and I keep it all. Here's my bits and pieces, various things that you'll always find a use for. you know, made some wooden boxes. Didn't like them, but I said, hang on a second. Why throw them away? I just threw them away. I might find a use for them after. And a number of things I have found uses for them after, which is quite grand. It's quite good. So basically that's all I wanted to do. That's the update on the StuG. There you go. That's where I am so far. Show some plates, tracks, and just finish off the painting, and then some bit of weathering and chipping and all that kind of lovely stuff to be done to it. Just before I go, I just want to give a couple of nice little call outs to first of all, the non-prolific 135 scale modeler, Jens. Wow, Jens's channel. If you've never seen it, click onto it. It's absolutely unbelievable. He doesn't just get a model from a kit. He makes half of it himself, basically. I don't like that. I'll take that off and I'll make my own out of this. But the great thing about his channel is he explains how he does it and why he does it, which is very, very good. Another channel you should watch is Switcher. Switcher does some weathering. He's doing a Mark IV at the moment, and step by step, wow, that thing is looking bloody believable. Absolutely unbelievable. Love the oil stains, things like that. I'm not at that stage yet that I've got the patience to do all that. I slap it all on and I go for what Switcher calls happy accidents, and believe it or not, I have had quite a few happy little accidents and things. So that's one to Switcher. Kim Anderson is doing some fabulous work out there as well. You should watch him. Shane Smith, I have to give him a call out, another fellow Irishman. Shane has been around a fair amount of time now. He's one of the top builders. Absolutely fabulous. He doesn't need me to give him a shout out. With my 26 subscribers, I had 28. I'm losing subscribers, not gaining them. So I must be doing something wrong. So that's why I decided to do this video. Maybe I might do something right. Maybe that's what you wanted. Just the old rambling on, and there you go. The more pixel and it, absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, just you don't want to listen to me rambling on too much, because I tend to ramble on too much. It's the old soldier in me. I did 22 years in the army. And I think I whinged my way through, I'd say, about at least 18 of them, which is every good soldier's... if a soldier isn't complaining, then things are not right. Okay, so I'll leave it at that, and I'll post this. Do leave comments, please. I do like comments. I know I've said good or bad. I don't really want bad comments, but I do like somebody to tell me, you're doing that totally wrong. If you try it this way, you'll find it works. Things like that. Wow, helpful criticism. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Switcher gave me one there on, or was it Bob Arnott, I think. It was either Bob Arnott or Switcher. I can't, whichever way it is. Anyway, they both have the same kind of ethos. I was on my Sherman, on my M51 Sherman. The tracks weren't shiny enough, basically. And he said, look at the terrain you have it on. And the terrain was all dry and dusty and gritty. It would shine up the tracks. Simple little things like that. That's what I want to see. Thanks, Switcher. Or Bob, should I say. Whichever. Anyway, good luck. Enjoy it. Talk to you next time.